Hello everyone, here I am going to explain a very important concept, that is sewage treatment, which involves two important steps. The first step in the process of cleaning sewage water called as primary treatment, it is also called as physical process. This is the step number 1. After the treatment of sewage in this physical process, the next level, that is step 2, is treating that sewage water with certain microorganisms called as secondary treatment. Another name of secondary treatment is biological process. In the examination, you get this question for 5 marks. Explain the secondary treatment of the sewage. So very important, don't lose your marks, very simple. Here actually the setup is already done, and here you could see this is the main sewage water. What is the definition of sewage? It could be asked. Sewage is the municipal waste water which is released from the home or house, industry, factory, which contains human excreta and other organic compounds. It will be easy to separate the human excreta, or maybe like the visible pollutants like the plastics or floating debris, even the mud, soil, or maybe grits, even the stones also, because they are all easily can be separated using a simple method called as sequential filtration and sedimentation. But the problem is, in the sewage water there are organic compounds, chemicals, which are in dissolved form. You cannot separate them. If you want to separate these dissolved organic compounds, you need to treat this sewage water with certain microorganisms. Got it? These microorganisms can digest the organic matter and purify the sewage water. So that water could be available as or for drinking, or maybe it can be released into the nearby water source. If the sewage is not treated and released directly into the water source, it could cause deadly diseases in human beings. Got it? Okay. Now here what you see is that this is the sewage water. Now it is should be treated in a sewage treatment plant. Sewage treatment plant is also called as STP. Got it? In India there are so many STPs. Particularly Ministry of Environment of India, they have built STPs, many STPs in a plan called as Ganga Action Plan. It is nothing but the cleaning of sewage water before the water is released into the Ganga river. Another plan is called as YAK, that is Yamuna Action Plan. Yap, not yak, yap. Okay, so Yamuna Action Plan. There are two plans. GAP, Ganga Action Plan, was initiated in the year 1986. YAP initiated in the year 1993. Please write down that. Okay, I will not use board for this, so hope you can understand this. Then thing is, here in the physical process, first thing is this particular sewage water is sequentially filtrated. Step number 1, sequential filtration. Got it? Okay, here during that filtration process, these plastics and floating debris will get filtrated. Even the big stones also get filtrated. Tissue paper, any other thing will be filtrated. Okay, so filtration is done. Next is the same water, after sequential filtration, is passed into another tank where it is nothing but a type of settling tank. You will not see any different type of process, any special process for this. So this water is allowed for some days, where you could see the stones and the mud, soil, everything settles at the bottom of this sewage. Correct? Okay. See here, this particular thing, the what soil or maybe stones which are now settled at the bottom is actually called as the primary sludge. What you call primary sludge. Got it? This is the sewage which contains only organic matter now after this physical process. Got it? That is sequential filtration and sedimentation. You see the supernatant, right? The floating water. It is called as primary effluent. What is primary effluent? The primary effluent is the sewage water which contains only organic matter, which is also dangerous. Now we have to go for the important process that is called as the biological treatment of the water, sewage water. That is secondary treatment. Now I will pass this primary effluent, okay, that is supernatant, only primary effluent into the first tank of the secondary treatment, that is called as aeration tank. What is the meaning of this aeration tank? In the aeration tank, what you see is an agitator, a machine will be there, and then a pipe which supplies oxygen to this tank. That means aeration tank means oxygen plus agitation will be seen. Got it, in this tank. So now I'm going to pass this effluent, primary effluent into this tank. Done. Okay. Now see this. This is primary sludge. Okay. So that is there. Fine. Now we have only so primary effluent, and I'm going to supply oxygen and I'm going to agitate this continuously. And can you see something there? So this is nothing but the microorganism. See, in the sewage water you see naturally occurring microorganisms. What type of microorganism? Heterotrophic microorganisms. They are highly active in the sewage. Why? In the sewage you see lot of organic matter. So these bacteria or fungi, they are heterotrophs. They feed, that is nothing but oxidize this organic matter. That is nothing but to take up the nutrients from the organic matter after its digestion. Got it? Okay. So now oxygen will be supplied, at the same time agitation will be done. During this process, already formed microorganism now start producing their colonies because of the rapid multiplication. Got it? So you could see a mesh like structure in this primary effluent in the aeration tank, and this mesh like structure is nothing but called as flocks. Remember it, you may get a question, what are flocks? These flocks are nothing but bacteria or fungi which are formed in the aeration tank when oxygen and agitation is done. Got it? In the aeration tank. So these flocks, as the number of these bacteria and fungi, that is flocks, increases, obviously it starts to feed on organic matter, that is they digest the organic matter. As the organic matter is digested, they need more oxygen because they are aerobic bacteria. Got it? So in the sewage you will see aerobic bacteria, they will now try to digest organic matter. So here what's happening now? The oxygen level in the water now is decreasing. Why? Because of the rapid action of these flocks on organic matter. At the same time, the organic matter is also reducing. The concentration of organic matter plus the concentration of the oxygen, both are reducing. Got it? So there is a term called as BOD, biochemical oxygen demand. What is this BOD? BOD is very simple. It is the amount of oxygen consumed by the aerobic bacteria in the sewage during their oxidation process on organic matter. That's it. So during the process, what's happening? The concentration of oxygen is decreasing. At the same time, the concentration of the organic matter also decreasing. That means the water is becoming more pure. That's it. Got it? Got it? So this is the thing. So now what I do is, after treating with in aeration tank, I will transfer this water, pass this water to another tank which is actually called as settling tank. As the name suggests, here we will allow the flocks to settle at the bottom. Got it? Got it? So already you see the supernatant which is now having very less organic matter. So BOD is a very good indicator of the pollutant level of the water. Got it? Whether the water is highly polluted or less polluted. It is all about the BOD. Okay. So please note that point. So the thing is now, if the BOD is very less in the sewage water, what does it mean? Whether that water is highly polluted or less polluted. If BOD is less, that means the water is pure, that is less polluted. If the BOD is more, the water is highly polluted. That's it. Very simple. Okay. So now I will pass this water to the settling tank. Now I am going to remove some flocks, only some flocks from this particular settling tank. Okay, see, I have just separated some flocks and I am going to put it back to this tank that is actually called as aeration tank. So this particular flocks which is now supplied back to the aeration tank will act as inoculum for the further process. If again actually if I take some sewage water and supply it back to this aeration tank, the process will continue. They will form more flocks. That's it. Okay. Here still you see some flocks, okay, which are now settled at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is, so here I forgot to mention you that see here, this is actually the flock, that is nothing but aerobic bacteria and fungi which are now settled at the bottom of the settling tank. They are actually called as activated sludge. What do you call? Activated sludge. I have removed some activated sludge and put it back to the aeration tank for as inoculum for the future use. Got it? Okay. Now my main intention is I want to purify this water. Okay, already purified, but still I will continue. So I will pass this water to another tank called as anaerobic sludge digester. Okay, what you see in this anaerobic sludge digester, please understand the name itself anaerobic, that means it contains anaerobic bacteria. So let us imagine this cellotape as anaerobic bacteria that is present in the anaerobic sludge digester. Here activated sludge plus the effluent are there. See, anaerobic sludge digester mainly contains this anaerobic bacteria which is going to digest the aerobic bacteria. That is nothing but our activated sludge. It will be completely digested. They will kill the aerobic bacteria. During the process, they will release H2S, carbon dioxide and methane gases which could be used as biogas. That is as the source of energy. Got it? Okay. So now after the treatment, you will not find any activated sludge here. Only anaerobic bacteria will be there. So now the water is completely purified. It's pure water now. It cannot be called as sewage now. But it cannot be used for drinking purpose or household purposes. It cannot be released it can be released into the nearby water source, but it cannot be used for household purposes. For household purposes, what we can do is we can go into the next step, that is actually the tertiary treatment of the sewage water, where this particular water is exposed to ultraviolet radiation and chlorine treatment will be given. Then it is purified. Then it can be used for the drinking purpose. Got it? Okay. So this is the thing.